The classic gingerbread cake. A classic gingerbread cake is a single layer, but it does make a big cake that fits in a 9 by 13-inch pan. So I do start with a fair bit of butter, a full cup softened to room temperature. And to that, I'll add a full cup of that packed dark brown sugar. Since I'm switching from gingerbread in a cookie form into a cake, the method does change. Now I have to beat the butter and sugar together before I add the molasses to make it nice and fluffy. That'll help aerate the cake. Now to measure the molasses. Of course, the fancy molasses, and I need 3/4 of a cup. And I've already oiled my measuring cup. It's just a little stir to blend it in. Now it's time to add 2 eggs, one at a time and while the mixer is going. There we go. Now it's time to start adding some flavor. Let's kick it off with the ginger. I really want to add the sparkle of fresh ginger. I want to grate about 2 tablespoons of the fresh ginger right into the batter. I'll also add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This will be to help, along with the molasses, to activate the leavening that I'm going to add a little later. I'll just stir this to blend. There we go. Now it's time for the dry ingredients. 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Just like with the gingerbread cookies, you want to sift your flour with the spices to get them combined. I've already got the fresh ginger in, so there's no need to add the dried, but I will add 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of the clove, and the final bit, about 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. You can use pre-ground, but I find if you can buy whole nutmeg and then grate it yourself, the flavor is just so much fresher. And the last thing to add, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm ready to sift. I'll add this all at once to the batter and then mix it just until it's blended. You may find you need to scrape your bowl a little bit just to make sure it's blended. Now the final addition, before I put the cake in the pan, is to add a bit of liquid right at the very end. I'm using boiling water, and I'll measure 1/2 cup of that. And the reason I'm using hot water is to get activating quickly 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. As soon as I start seeing that baking soda bubbling, it's time to move pretty quick. See a few bubbles. So I'm going to add that quickly to the batter, mix it, and then after that, blend in 2 tablespoons of crystallized ginger, just for that added bit of ginger heat. And there we go. I've got my greased 9 by 13 pan, and again, working quickly, I'll pour this into the pan, spread it evenly, and this is ready for the oven. It takes 45 minutes to bake at a 350 oven, and oh, the whole kitchen is going to smell fantastic. Oof. This gingerbread smells fantastic. Now, to test the doneness, just drop a skewer in the center. When it comes out clean, you know your cake is fully baked. I have this cake fully cooled. You can serve it warm, but you should wait at least 30 minutes before slicing into it. And the classic way to present gingerbread cake is cut into squares. Just make a few slices. And I find grabbing out the corner piece makes it easier then to lift out the other ones. I'll just put this on a plate. A little bit of icing sugar on top, and a nice dollop of lightly sweetened whipped cream. Oh, who could resist?